Start game now. Calm down, Bib. What's that? You were having a nightmare? A space nightmare? Well, I don't get it. Oh, I get it. Mega Mania, a space nightmare. Yep, today we're going to look at Mega Mania for your Atari 2600. And unfortunately, just like several Activision games, the glue has bled through and it's kind of ugly now. And the label isn't much to look at anyways. I do like the screenshot, but there's not much there. But let's go ahead and pop Mega Mania into my Atari 7800 Pro system and find out if it's a Mega Mania good time or not. Let's go to the game. Mega Mania for the Atari 2600 was published by Activision and has a copyright year of 1982. It is a space shooter for 1 to 2 players alternating. Mega Mania is a space nightmare where you are attacked by wave after wave of unusual objects. It plays like Space Invaders, but is actually a little bit more like Threshold, which I just reviewed on episode 105, where the enemies will make their way to the bottom, reappear at the top, and continue on until you defeat them all. If you defeat the entire wave, a new wave is introduced with new enemies. You can use the joystick to move left and right, and the button to fire the missiles. You can fire one missile at a time. The difficulty switches control whether your missiles are fast or slow. There's also 2 variations of the game. One has guided missiles that move with your joystick, and the other has straight. I actually thought the straight missiles would work better for me, but actually it was the guided missiles that I had more effective gameplay with. There is an energy gauge at the bottom. If it runs out, you lose a ship. However, when you defeat a wave, whatever is left over turns into bonus points. And it also recharges at the end of each stage. Point-wise depends on the enemies you're facing. In the first wave, according to the manual, you face Hamburgers. They're worth 20 points. The next one has Cookies, worth 30. Then comes Bugs, worth 40. My favorite, Radial Tires, worth 50. Gotta dig those Radial Tires. Diamonds are worth 60. Steam Irons are worth 70, the Bow Ties are worth 80, and the Space Dice are worth 90. If you're able to defeat that final wave, you will start over with more difficult enemies, and every enemy at that point will be worth 90 points, no matter what shape it is. You also get an extra man for every 10,000 points you earn. Graphically speaking, I thought it looked pretty good. Your ship does look like a ripoff of the Star Trek Enterprise, and all the different enemies don't really look like what the manual says they look like, at least not to me. If I didn't read the manual, I wouldn't know they're supposed to be hamburgers, cookies, and bugs, but I still think they kind of look cool and they're very distinguishable from one another. I also thought the Space Dice at the very end looked more like Comet, but that's just my little opinion. I also thought that the sound effects served their purpose well, and this is a family-friendly game. On eBay, loose copies went for about $5 to $6 shipped, and complete copies went for $20 to $25. So would I recommend Mega Mania? Well, kinda. If you are a big fan of 2600 space shooters, then yeah, it's really solid in that regard. But I do think there are better shooters out there on the system, so if you're not a big space shooter fan, you might want to wait for some other space shooters coming around the corner. So where am I going to rank it? Well, let's look right where Threshold is, which is kind of, I see it as its main competitor. Threshold is currently at number 9, and I think this game slightly edges out Threshold. I enjoyed it just a little bit more and had a little bit easier time with the control, so it's going to become my new number 9 game. I'm a member of the Retro Junkies Network, so is Ferg of the Atari 2600 Game by Game podcast, and he'll be covering this game soon. If you're interested in that, you can check him out at iTunes. Thank you everyone for giving me a little part of your day. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like and subscribe buttons. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks again, guys, and I look forward to seeing you next time right here on the next episode of The No Swear Gamer. Take care, everybody, and watch out for those space radial tires.